if we want to really understand the future, I believe it's important just to look at the past. So lucky for you, I packed my handy-dandy time machine, so we just all climbed into it. I set the dial for 1905, New York City. Any New Yorkers in the crowd? That sounded kind of quiet. You must be from upstate. So for you New Yorkers, I think if I had my directions right, my time machine doesn't always land where I program it, but I think we just landed at the corner of Broadway, 5th, and East 23rd. What we're looking, I think I got it correct. We're looking at the new architectural marvel, something in 1905 that was the Flatiron Building. Beautiful building, a new style of architecture. Beyond this beautiful building, what else do you see when you look at what's happening in this picture? Horses. Horses as far as the eye can see. America in 1905 was an equine-driven economy. In New York alone, it took 100,000 horses just to move people and goods every day. Tens of thousands of workers did things like feed horses, clean up after horses. The really good gigs were you were a saddle maker, you were a wheelwright, you were a blacksmith. These were gilded jobs handed down through families for generations because they were great jobs. It's the way the world worked. In America, 1/4 of all production from agriculture went to feeding horses. So look at this. We're going to pile back in the machine. I'm going to keep it where we are, but I'm just going to move forward 20 years. 1925, what's changed? All of a sudden, we have a different form of horsepower. Instead of moving at the speed of horses, we're now moving at the speed of internal combustion engines and cars. This changes everything. How we live, how we work dramatically changed over the period of 20 years. In 1925, there were tens of thousands of new jobs that we hadn't even imagined in 1905. At the same time, there were many jobs that had been passed down for decades that were good jobs that basically went away or changed. So when we talk about tech transformation, to me, this is a good example of what that actually looks like. Fast forward to present day. The smart folks at McKinsey say we're going to experience more technological progress in the next decade than we have in the past 100 years. Think about what you've been reading, seeing, hearing just since the fall of 2022 when it comes to AI alone. So I believe we're on the beginning of a new cycle, and it's going to play out over time, but I believe when we look at the past, we're going to see a repeat of that as we look forward.